your way. Your mind, we have to be as one.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm here coming at you guys with a bit of a different week this week. Now I know the Team APS Community Tournament has been started. It is live, but however we are only in the first round because we had about, I think, 93 participants, which is actually pretty solid for such a tournament like this. But and I think it easily shatters what we had last year in the ALC April's tournament. So I'm really happy with the number of entrants. We have, I think, a total of like 88, 93, something along those lines. I'll have a bracket link down in the description box so you can sort of follow what's gone on so far. And the match coverage for some of the round 1, maybe some of the round 2 matches will be going up next week. So far, I only have one match I've been able to record so far. However, I will have some more footage from the round 1 matches next week. However, this week I wanted to be something a little different. Because obviously, as much as I pride myself on being, like YouTuber doing Yu-Gi-Oh videos, I don't just do Yu-Gi-Oh. So today's week's gonna be Get to Know Oral Week, where I talk a lot about things I do outside of Yu-Gi-Oh, and some kind of little bit to know about me. But today I'm gonna be talking mostly about Yu-Gi-Oh, and on tomorrow's video I'll be talking about some of my favorite portable games, namely my love of the Pokemon series, and then on Friday I'm going to cover some of my favorite console titles, namely I'm going to cover and talk about some of those as well, so you can kind of get an idea about me. But today's video is obviously about the Yu-Gi-Oh topic and some of this other stuff to know about me. So a little bit of life story at first. I believe I graduated high school about 6 years ago. It feels like it's less, but it's been a long time. After I got out of high school, I spent a little time trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Then finally, I just said screw it. I think around sometime in 2011, I decided, okay, I'm going to college. So I decided to go to a local community college here in Texas. And I ended up, I think, going there for about 3 years. I finally got my degree in, I believe, May. I started in 2011. It was in May of 2014 I received my associate's degree. It was a lot of work, but I don't deny that in community college it is a lot easier than a big university. However, I was really just proud of that achievement, of accomplishing that. And once I achieved that, I ended up going again for one more semester just to get a couple more classes. However, after finishing that next semester, I kind of went through this phase where I was like, okay, what do I do now? Eventually, I got to the point before the summer last year, I was just like, screw it, I gotta go do something. And I ended up applying for jobs, and currently I actually have a job as a courtesy clerk at a local grocery store. It's nothing special, but it does, it doesn't pay a lot, but it's something I really enjoy, and I think it's really helped because it allows me to do more things. I'm able to, go to locals more often. I'm able to do things like go to big YCS, and it has really helped a lot. I don't make a ton of money, but I really do like my job. I am just bagging groceries and doing cards, but I really like the customer interaction experience of my job. And at some point I will have another job, but for now, just like it. But that kind of covers some of the other stuff, and now I'm going to kind of move on to my history with Yu-Gi-Oh and kind of like how I got back into the game after I left. So much like a lot of people, I got into when the first anime came out. I was kind of one of those, types where I just had the original starter decks, and I played, a lot with my sibling as well. And later on, but then I left the game for years, didn't follow it at all. I was always more into, racing games such as the Need for Speed franchise, and of course the Pokemon portables. And then when I got into college, I was like, okay, someone handed me just a list of just random thing of junk cards, ended up taking it, and ended up, getting back into the game. It took me over a year to really relearn the game, and the first actual coherent deck I bought was a Battle and Boxer deck. That's one of the reasons that Battle and Boxer deck that I still have to this day always holds a little bit of sentimental value to me. Because outside of YCS Houston, it's the only deck I've ever taken to a big event, and even though the deck is not good, I always hold that kind of like, everyone has that one deck that, they kind of started out with, kind of moving into the competitive scene, and that deck was really, it wasn't a great time to play it because it was when Mermails were good, Dragon Rulers were still running around, so Big Eye was a card. Big Eye was just, I still don't like the card, but overall, like getting back into the game, then during the next April, during the next year, during April's format, I decided, okay, I want to be a little bit more of a competitive player, which meant spending more money. And at the time, I really didn't have a job to fund it. So it ended up having to just doing a lot of bartering, doing a lot of stuff like that just to get a hold of my cards. Once I did have my job, it really did help. I still think my Magician deck would have been pretty damn expensive, even if it hadn't been for premium gold. However, I do think that deck is another deck I kind of got really attached to simply because of its play style. It's similar, kind of like this, but more Yu-Gi-Oh stories history. The second deck I actually ever got was Dark Worlds. Dark Worlds was always a really cheap, budgetary friendly deck. It was something I could afford in college. It was something that really wasn't that expensive to build, and it was a really fun deck. I remember because one of the issues with Battle Box was I never had cards in my hand. Well, with Dark Worlds, you have so much draw power and turboing that having a hand was wonderful. It was one of those decks when the first time I picked it up and played it, and just it kind of felt right. It was Magicians kind of took a little more time to grow on me. Once I actually bought the deck and built it, I really just fell in love with it and its play style. And Dark Worlds were sort of a similar thing for me. And of course you have it now. And then I believe it was the summer of 2014, I believe, was when I decided to start doing Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Now, you can't see a lot of these old videos because, quite frankly, I cringe just watching the content because it's just not up to my current, standards. When first it was just posting a few cool replays, and later on it actually became an actual, okay, I want to take this to the next level. So I actually invested a little bit into it. It wasn't a ton, but I did get, some softwares. I did get some freewares that helped out. I got a video converter, I got XSplit, I got a small tripod for my phone so I could record videos. It was the first time I'd actually, invested a little bit into YouTubing. It's not much, it wasn't anything special, but I really wanted to make my content better for you guys. And that's definitely something I will, do in the future. And overall, though, I'm just amazed, I think one of the things that surprises me the most about YugiTubing is actually, my channel's nothing special, I don't have a ton of subscribers, but people who recognize me in real life, it still kind of gets to the point where I'm just amazed that people, know who I am in real life. I remember, I don't know if I told the story, I don't know if I told the story actually on my channel. When I was at YCS Houston, I remember there was a guy with a mat, and I was sitting there with Paul and all those guys, and he asked me to sign his mat, and that's I'm not, some group with 30K subscribers. I'm just some guy who has maybe 300 subs, 300, 400 subs, and for someone to even, want me to sign their mat was just a little surreal. And a lot of YouTubers probably watching this, when people recognize you and want you to sign things, you probably have the same feeling. And that was kind of how I felt. And I also ran into another subscriber who was running the channel, and he said we were talked a lot, and overall, I'm just amazed with I'm just happy how much Yu-Gi-Oh has brought to me, and how much it's really just always will have a place for me. Now, maybe someday in the future I do sell my collection, but I always think, I'd still like to have at least one deck, just for sentimental purposes. And I do think that overall I think the game has done wonderfully for me. So anyway, guys, as always, it comes about to the end of the video today. I always like when you guys watch my videos, so let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll be covering the topics mentioned earlier in the video, probably covering my love of the Pokemon franchise, as well as some of my favorite console games and covering the history of them. And obviously next week we'll be getting back onto the Yu-Gi-Oh topic, so don't worry, I'm not going anywhere in Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm just, branching out a little bit and kind of getting, so you guys kind of get an idea of who I am. So, as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Scorestorm, signing out.